Hi friends, thanks for joining me. I'm so sorry I couldn't get the live feed working. The internet at Silly Farm just wouldn't let me be great. So instead I decided to just film it and explain the differences between my prior setup and the current Craft and Go, and hopefully answer some questions about both setup, takedown, magnetizing your products, and just go over a general overview of what makes the Craft and Go my ideal face painting setup. As the owner of Silly Farm, I take a lot of pride in product knowledge and also trying out all the products myself to make sure that they're great. I don't believe in carrying or selling anything that I don't really like. So the Craft and Go being that it's a large purchase, I definitely wanted to give you some tips, tricks, and help you decide if this is the right workstation for you. So thank you for joining me as always. I love to connect with you guys on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. So if you don't know my information, just look below. It's right here. And you can connect with me. And if you have any questions after you watch this video, please email me, chat me, join the Craft and Go Facebook group. It's an amazingly active group that can totally help inspire you to set up your own Craft and Go so that you're not overwhelmed when you get it. So as always, thanks for joining me. I am going to be traveling soon. Bodyssey is coming up in Canada. There's ACE in Texas. There's Kidvention West out in Las Vegas. So there's so many amazing opportunities to come and learn, and I hope to see you somewhere on the road pretty soon. Oh, I'll be at the UK convention, so, and at the face painting shop in the UK. So really happy to be able to see everybody again. So let's get started. I have been face painting for about 18 years. Gosh, feeling old a little bit. And before the invention of the Craft and Go, I have always brought my own table, my own chair, and this has pretty much been my setup. I've changed the table over the years. I used to have an aluminum table, which was super lightweight, but it was a little bit lower than this one. And then, unfortunately, it ended up breaking a little bit faster. So I moved to a sturdier table. This is a heavy plastic table. I got this one either at Costco or Target, and it's about a 4-foot table, and it has been great for me. It has telescoping legs. The only downside to it is that it's a little bit heavy. So I would usually wheel it in on a little rolly cart along with my kit and my other supplies that and my chair as well. So I always felt like I was bringing in or moving into people's parties, and I didn't like the way that it came across. It just felt like I was always the bag lady when I got to the parties. So, but it worked great for the past 18 years. No one complained. I was always able to set up and take down without it being an issue. But I'll explain why I moved into a Craft and Go next. The other great thing about having a 4-foot table, or a good thing about having a 4-foot table, is that you have a lot of space, which is nice. So I can set up all my supplies. They look really pretty. They look really colorful, and everyone can see them. So it's easy to figure out what you do. So for me, there was 2 downsides with this. One, I face paint on a director's chair. I am a lefty, so that means my chair is usually right next to my table, and the kids are lining up behind me or behind the chair. The downside to this is that my table is very exposed, which means that kids and all their curiosity would start touching my stuff, touching my sponges, touching my glitters. They can't help it. They're kids. This stuff looks appealing. So because my table would be open unless I was pushed against a wall, what ends up happening is they start touching everything. So that was one thing that I always hated about having an open table setup. The second thing that I really was always hoping to improve was the height. So this table is a standard table. I believe it's about 3 feet off of the ground. I'm 5 feet. So if you notice, it's a little under, it's right over where my thigh is. And the problem with this is as I'm painting on a director's chair, let me show you. I'm going to move this here. I was always doing this motion. And eventually it just started hurting my hip a little bit more. Not bad, but if you're standing and doing 4 or 5 hour gigs, this can become a little bit uncomfortable at times. So I was always looking for something just a little bit higher to help with my hip, to help with that bending motion. After I had my son and I'm always carrying him here, I'm like, oh, this hip is just killing me. So this slight bend just happened to be something that was a little irritating for me. Not the end of the world, but I've always look for ways to improve it, whether getting a higher table or lifting up my stuff. So for many years, this is the setup that I've worked with. And like I said, no one complained. I was able to make it work. And then about 3 years ago, I was introduced to the Craft and Go. What is the Craft and Go? The Craft and Go is a portable workstation. So it's going to act as a kit and also a table, and all in one. It has telescoping legs that fold into the base of it to make it either tabletop, or you use it as a table and you have different height adjustments. So you can be sitting or you can be standing. The first thing you'll notice is that it's a really good height for someone like me, and possibly somebody like you too. As I said, I'm about 5 feet, so this is a little bit higher than my other table. I'm going to say it's closer to about 4 feet in height, which makes it really comfortable and a natural movement for me. Instead of doing all that bending, I'm just able to work directly off of it. Another thing about the Craft and Go that I absolutely love is that it has helped me personally to keep my own kit cleaner. What I was finding before is with my old setup is when I was done or in a rush to leave a job, I would pack everything up, throw it inside of my kit, and head out of there. And the problem was that I would get home after a long day and just throw my kit inside of my trunk and leave it there. With the Craft and Go, because it is my kit and my table in one, I find myself keeping it a lot cleaner. I clean my stuff, I close it, I leave it in good condition so that the next event that I go to or the next party, I can open and it still looks really good. I find myself doing a much better job of taking care of it. Possibly because it's really expensive, but it's actually has just been kind of my impetus to keep my kit a lot cleaner. So, what makes the Craft and Go such an amazing design? That's probably one of the number one questions I get asked. Like, what is so good about it? Isn't it just like a suitcase on wheels? I get this question asked a lot. Now, first I want to clear this up. I didn't design the Craft and Go. An amazing creator, a female entrepreneur named Cynthia Nichols. Her company is Craft and Go, and I got a chance to see the Craft and Go a couple of years ago in person, and I fell in love. And she has attended FABEIC, and I love her product so much that I support it. And I think it's important to support women business owners. So she designed this mold, and from then she listened to painters and used their opinions and their advice to help improve it. So over the years, the Craft and Go has definitely undergone some improvements in terms of the handle and the wheels and the legs. So it's really becoming one of, to me, the best investments that you can make as a face painter. And I want to explain to you why. One, the design of the Craft and Go is extremely important. You've seen people online who have converted a DJ Hero case, and they look a lot like a guitar case. To doing that, or the downside to using a Guitar Hero case, is that they're not designed the same way as a Craft and Go. So the Craft and Go, if you notice, the base is about, I would say, about 15 or 16 inches deep, and then the lid is about 6 inches deep, and it's created with a weight distribution that allows it not to tip over. Okay, that means you can stack the lid and the base and fill it up without having to worry about it tipping over. Now, I have a good friend in her Guitar Hero case, because the base isn't as thick, it tends to tip over a lot faster, especially if there's any gust of wind. I predominantly work outside, and I've never had a problem with my Craft and Go tipping. So, so far for me, the weight distribution has been amazing, and it has helped me to be able to carry everything that I need without any accidents or any troubles with anything spilling over or tipping over. It's also very sturdy, okay? So when I'm at an event and kids are around me, I don't have to worry about them tipping it no more than it would with a table. So the actual overall design is something that really lends itself to the price. It was designed and well thought out, which is important because a lot of people say it's expensive, but I want you to know it's worth every single penny. The other features of the Craft and Go are that it comes magnetized. So each Craft and Go includes a magnetic base inside of the lid. It also includes these metal workstations, which I'll show you in a minute. 2 are included, and then there's several other add-ons that you can add to it. There's a plastic tray for you to repot your paints. That's available as well for those of you that do. I'm going to explain the magnets that I use and the accessories that I add to it, like my light. All the things that really dress up your Craft and Go, make it really easy to transport, and make it your all-in-one kit to just be able to go to each party and make a huge impact. So the way that I set up my Craft and Go is I like to work off of the top workstation. And what I mean by that is, as you can tell that there's a deeper base inside of the Craft and Go, it allows you to either work from the base or to work on top and use the base as storage. So I chose to use these metal workstations, which I'm going to show you. So these are called workstations. These are just metal plates. They come in 2 different sizes. The smaller one fits directly inside of the basin, and that allows you to either work from the bottom so that you don't worry about anything tipping, or you can just simply use it as a storage. Now, I do not repot my paints. One main reason is I used to repot my paints inside of a large plastic tray, and one day my glitter exploded all over everything, and it was way too hard to clean. I felt like I ruined all of my paint, and I didn't want to do that. So instead, I just magnetized my fab paints using ceramic magnets that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I like these because they're nice and thick and they stick really well. And I use them with E600 glue to stick on the back of my paints, and I find that they stick really well. So I magnetize all of my fab paints to my smaller board, and then when I'm done for the day, I just simply stick it inside of the bottom basin, and then I take my larger metal work surface and I just simply close it up just like that. I just put that on top. Now you can order these extra work surfaces as well. I covered mine with some shiny contact paper. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I think it was $10 for the roll, and I covered it simply to just protect the surface, because as painters we get a little messy. So I covered it with this pretty iridescent contact paper, and then I can rinse it down really easy, and when you're done with it, you can just peel it off and re-stick a new one with different patterns. But I thought this one was really pretty, that's why I added it. So when I get to a job, I just open up, I put my workstation, my smaller one, right on top, and then I work from the top of my Craft and Go. I like everything to be raised up. Ashley, who I'll show you a few clips in a few moments, she likes to work from inside of her Craft and Go so she doesn't worry about anything tipping. So either way you decide to set up your Craft and Go, it's okay, it's still going to work great, but you have to decide which setup works for you. So inside of my Craft and Go, I chose to add about 8 to 9 arty cakes along the lid. I magnetized these as well. I put a few of my most used rainbow cakes, or the ones that are really bright. I put them towards the top because I want all my customers to see the beautiful color. I have my little sheet of bling that I magnetize the back, and I just stick that up there with some bling choices depending on the party that I'm doing. I like to just show off a little bit of bling, especially for the private events. Plus it looks pretty as decoration. I have a battery operated light, this light, and I also magnetized it as well, and that way I can change out the batteries when I need to, turn it off. I got these cool magnets that I love. They just say smile, dream, happy, all I see is magic, just to dress up my Craft and Go. The way that I see my Craft and Go is kind of like my personal candy store, and I want it to be a reflection of the art that I do, which is why it's important to dress it up and make it look pretty. Then you kind of, not only will you impress your customers, you'll impress yourself. You'll be proud of such a beautiful setup. I use this little handle right there as a place to store my beautiful mirror, gifted to me by Melissa Munn. I love this mirror. And I can store it right inside of here. I keep my sponges inside of a mesh bag. I need to dye this mesh bag black actually because I don't like it to be white. It tends to look too dirty. And then I just take a magnet and I just stick it hanging off of the edge. That way my sponges don't blow away. They're not sitting out in the open like they were before for kids to get their hands on. And I can keep them kind of contained right inside of there. I also use a brush tub to store my brushes, to keep them standing up so that they're not sitting in water. I make sure my brush bath is visible. That's why I keep it in plain sight. I like the parents to know that I take pride in keeping my brushes and my supplies clean, so I like to make sure that it's always visible. I have a little towel here that I use to put my baby wipes on top of. That way I don't have wet baby wipes sitting directly on my work surfaces. I just always have a little hand towel and I use that to wipe off my hands if I need to. Then as you can tell, I have another collection of rainbow cakes here. I use a ton of rainbow cakes. For me, they're my favorite supplies to use by a landslide. So I have a ton of rainbow cakes. My arty cakes are up here. And then on this side is all of my individual colors. And of course, my glitters. So I have a collection of glitters and my stencils. My little bag with my stencils are right here as well. Another thing that you can never leave home without is your business cards. So on my other business card holders, I have Velcro right here, and I literally just stick them at the top right here so that when people say, do you do birthday parties or do you do events or do you have a business card, I always have it available to give them right there in plain sight. And that is super helpful for me. So the number 2 question I'm always asked, or maybe what concerns people when they're transitioning from a table to a craft and go, is, will I have enough space? Now, this doesn't look like a whole lot of space. And granted, I will be honest, at first I had to get used to it. I am used to working on a 4-foot table, and this cut at least a foot off. But what I found about working on a craft and go or working in my craft and go is that it helped me to utilize my supplies better. So what I do is I put out 8 to 9 rainbow cakes at one time, and once I get done with any of them or I start running out, then I replace it with other stock that I've invested in, because I know a lot of you guys have products you've never even broken the surface on because we have so much stuff. So I find myself rotating supplies a lot faster. Once I'm done with an arty cake, I switch it out with a different one. Once I'm done with the glitter, then I'll try a new one. And this helps me to kind of minimize my supplies so that I'm moving a lot faster. A lot of times face painters have so much stuff, it tends to slow you down because you're like, what do I use? What do I use? Where is that? What am I looking for? So when you're able to condense your space, you're really able to move a lot faster because you know that you just have a limited amount of supplies to stack up in here. Now, I won't lie. If you take a look at some of my friends' craft and goes, like Lenore Koppelman, the Cheeky Chipmunk, I love her, and so many other painters, you're going to be like, how did they fit that much stuff in there? And I'm always amazed, but they're masters of organization. So that's why I'm encouraging you to join the Facebook group, the Craft and Go Facebook group, because you can get so many ideas. I think it's Colors for You, Johanna Infante. I believe that's her. Her Craft and Go is like, so definitely check out the Craft and Go forum just so that you kind of get an idea of how to set everything up, what it looks like, what your ideal setup could be, because mine might not be yours. But I just wanted to explain to you how I set everything up and hopefully get some feedback from you so I can answer questions in case you still have them. In my kit, I have some of my supplies just hanging out here. I do not magnetize everything. So I don't magnetize my glitters. I don't magnetize any of my liquids, mainly because I don't want them spilling. Glitter tends to be the biggest accident inside of a kit. So I store my glitters inside of a little pouch, and I always carry with me an extra bag. This bag is what I carry my baby wipes and some snacks, some extra water, and I put my glitter and any of my liquids, like my brush bath, inside of there. Because God forbid any of your liquids leak, you just don't want it leaking all over your paints. It's not good. It'll just cause much more of a cleanup for you. So when I'm done with the job, I simply pack up by placing my glitters inside of this little bag. I don't even remember where I got it from, but it's just kind of the perfect little baggie because it doesn't take up too much space. So I just put all my glitters right inside of my glitter bag. Should I have an accident, I don't have to worry about it. It's all inside of here. And then I can keep this little glitter bag contained. And of course, you don't want to close up your kit with any dirty water in it because that's not going to work out for you either. I put that in my bag. And then these two would be considered liquids. This is hand sanitizer. We live in a day and age where kids will cough in your face and throw up in your hands. Like, I've seen everything happen over the past 18 years. So I always carry hand sanitizer with me. And this is my little blinged out water bottle. So I just throw that in my bag too. So here are my stencils. So what I like to do when I'm all done for the day is, as I said, I take my tray with my fab paints and I put it inside of the bottom basin. Now, I took this piece of foam. I don't even remember where I got it from. It's just a piece of foam. And I literally just put it on top of my fab paints just to protect any, from it jumbling around in there. And then I have my stencils that I place directly inside of that basin. And then I just put my workstation right on top of it so that when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go and I can pack up in literally under 10 minutes. Then on this side, because my rainbow cakes stack, I simply, when I'm done, I just stack them up just like that. And this side of my Craft and Go is kind of like my storage. So I just take the lids of my rainbow cake and place them inside of this basin. And this basin tends to be kind of like my throw all sometimes, but I'm working on keeping it a lot cleaner. And then I just take my little wipey, place it in there. I can wrap up your mirror so that it doesn't get damaged. And then I place it directly inside of this basin, just like that. And then I take my brushes that I carry in my brush bin, and I place it right inside of here, and I literally close my Craft and Go, and I'm ready to go. Now, instead of just flipping it over, what I like to do with my Craft and Go is I like to lay it on its side. And I just release the clips and I just simply just am able to. So as you can see, the legs fit directly inside of the Craft and Go. They're hidden inside of there so that, again, you can use it as a tabletop workstation or you can use the legs. The wheels, as you can see right here, are encased in your Craft and Go so that you don't have to worry about them falling off. Now, once you have your Craft and Go, all with the legs all put together, then you literally can just roll on out. So as you can see, I have a pink Craft and Go. I love pink. It's my favorite color. And I used to think, maybe pink doesn't go for every event. And maybe it's not as professional as, say, black. But I traded in my black one for a pink one because this kit is representative of me and pink is my favorite color. So the first time I knew it was meant to be or that I made the right choice was I was doing an event for Bloomingdale's and I set up my Craft and Go. And the main PR manager came over and said, "Oh my God, I love your makeup box. It is amazing. It's so professional. So at that moment, I knew that I had made such a great investment in my overall setup and look. Not only was I set up in under 2 minutes, I didn't have to ask the organizer for a table. I didn't have to worry about them giving me a small table or a super low one that was going to hurt my back from bending down. And I was all set up and all ready to go, and I have everything that I need inside of my kit, which also looks super professional. So if you are on the fence about getting a Craft and Go, or you're wondering if it's for you, just really look over this video. Ask yourself some questions. One, how often do you ask for a table at your job? Is it in your contract that you require the client to provide a job for you? If the answer is no, that you always bring your own table, how do you feel about your table? Is it heavy? How's it been working out for you? Would it make it easier for you to have a table and a kit all in one, to where you're not opening up your table, unpacking your kit, then packing your kit back together, closing up your table, closing up your kit? Would chopping 15 minutes off your setup time work for you? Also, would you be comfortable in working in this amount of defined space? Again, this is smaller than a full table, so you have to say to yourself, can my supplies fit on it? Would I be comfortable lifting? Mine is full, and I would say it's probably about 10 pounds, 10 to 11 pounds full. So are you comfortable lifting this in and out of your car? Do you have a space for this? So these are the questions that you need to ask yourself, because this particular Craft and Go is about $500. And while it seems like a huge investment for face painters, most of us can make this back in a few weekends. And what it will do for you is save you time going place to place. It'll save you time carrying all your stuff, and it'll look like a super professional setup. So you have to ask yourself, can I afford this? Very important. Don't overextend yourself. This is not an infomercial to sell it. This is to explain to you why I use it and what it has done for my personal business and why I believe it's such a great product. But I have used a table and a chair for 18 years without any problems either. So definitely ask yourself, is this a worthwhile investment for you? Would you be comfortable carrying it in and out of your car, or taking it on the train with you? What color would suit you best? How you would set it up in general. I got my ceramic magnets at Hobby Lobby. The package of, I think, 100 magnets was $7.99. The contact paper I also got from Hobby Lobby. You can buy E6000 anywhere as well. Might as well just get it at Hobby Lobby if you're there. And the rest of the fun accessories that I added to my Craft and Go can be purchased both at Silly Farm. We're going to be carrying the trays really soon for the additional pieces. We're also working on a prototype for a table skirting for the bottom of the Craft and Goes. We had a few at Fabic, and now we're working on new ones. In the meantime, I bought a piece of fabric from, again, Hobby Lobby, and I tie it around the base when I want to hide the legs and hide my bag underneath it. So literally, this is just a piece of fabric that I tie around it, and it's worked out great so far because I just like to hide my purse underneath it. So I hope you enjoyed this little video describing the Craft and Go and why I love it so much. If you have any other questions, please, I encourage you to call me. This is a big purchase, so I want to make sure that you're comfortable and you're excited about your purchase, just to make sure that you're heading in the right direction. Remember, there's a million ways to get to the finish line. We all just take different ways, so you got to figure out which way is best for you. And if I can help you get there by saving money, saving time, please let me do it. As I explained, I'm going back on the road. I'll be teaching in several different cities, hopefully near you. If you want me to come to your city, reach out to me too. Lisa can help you hook up a class with me. But I thank you for joining me. I thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And as always, your feedback means everything to me. So hit me up on Silly Farm on Instagram, on my Paint Pal blog. And happy painting, friends. Bye.